Hi, my name's Gary. I am senior graphic designer for Navitas. I have 20 years graphic design experience, over 20 years actually. I'm going to take you for a walk around my local park whilst talking about design. Um, my journey in design started in my A levels when I did product design, and my undergraduate I did a course called Design Studies, and for my masters I did graphic design and art direction. So I'm gonna let you know my thoughts on what design is, and obviously design can encompass so many different things, so many different disciplines. And I think, to sum it up in a super simple way, my opinion is that design is the thought in creating how we interact with the world. So as a graphic designer, I spend a lot of time thinking about what people see and how they interact with that. And as a product designer, you may think about how people interact with objects and physical artifacts. And so I guess my initial thought is to design this video by walking around the park to remind that although during something like a hackathon where you're working very intensively, very excited, ultimately it's about producing something that helps people interact with the real world, and not necessarily just how people behave and interact in offices. So for me, it's about interacting with the world, with people, the environment, with cultures. I think for this hackathon, the types of design that will probably be most relevant, or disciplines I should say, not type, may be user experience, UX design, user interface, UA design, graphic design, web design, app design, and just interacting with the digital world. I'm going to talk a little bit about colour, one of the most important aspects of visual communication. I'm going to talk about different methods of communicating colour. So for the digital world, you will be using hex codes to define your colour. You'll be using RGB. RGB stands for red, green and blue, and those are the primary colours for light. You may want to think about CMYK. The CMYK is for printing, so that's cyan, magenta, yellow and key. Key means black. As someone who works in print, I use these Pantone swatches. They help me convert ink, CMYK, to digital colours, RGB, to make sure that they are consistent and accurate. Pantone is just one company that sets the standard of what colour is. So, for instance, this blue happens to be 2183C. That's the code for Pantone blue, and that will convert to 0, 147 and 197 in RGB, and that allows you to make sure that you are using the correct blue, and that you're communicating about the correct blue to whoever is relevant for your project. And then aside from that, there is hue, saturation and value. Hue is a fancy way of saying colour. So your hue might be red, might be purple, might be blue. And saturation is about how vivid that colour is, and how intense that colour is. How purple is your purple, and how grey it is. And then that would be sort of lower saturation. And then there's value, and that's how light or dark your colour is. So those are the three sort of ways of adjusting colour. And you might want to look up a colour wheel, and I'm sure you can find an example online where you can look at primary, secondary and tertiary colours. You can look up warm colours and cool colours, and you can think about how colours are used in nature to help you communicate. So, for instance, for sustainability, you might want to use greens and blues. It's the colour of the earth, it's the colour of nature. It makes you think about the environment. As a designer, I use all sorts of different kinds of software to do my designing. In my role as graphic designer, I use Adobe Creative Suite. I do a lot of design for printing, so I use InDesign, I use Photoshop, I use Illustrator for designing apps and websites. You probably want to look into Figma, which is the industry standard for creating prototypes for apps and websites. Also, there are lots of other professional software out there. Procreate is used by a lot of people on iPads, and Canva is beginning to be more professional and is more accepted in the industry now. I think a design lesson to learn here is that the tools that you use to create with will shape how you create. So the lesson I was always taught is to start with pen and paper, and then also start with different kinds of pens, different kind of pencils, different shapes of paper. If you always design on screen, then the tools in the software that you use will shape how you think, will shape how you design, will shape your ideas, in the same way that if you always draw with a biro on A4 paper, then your ideas will at some point be limited to the size of an A4 paper. And if you suddenly picked up a paintbrush and then picked up a sheet of A0 massive poster paper, then you might have different ideas, and it might help you think creatively in a different way. In the same way that you might want to pick up a stick and dip it in mud and start drawing on a leaf, and maybe that will give you different ideas. I think that's the thing with creativity, is that it's always about challenging your boundaries, thinking about why, what could be better, what you're trying to say, and challenge current thoughts. For designing digital mediums such as websites, apps, and anything in between, I'm going to refer to a classic book. This is Steve Krug's Don't Make Me Think. And it's all about usability and people sort of interacting with websites and digital interfaces. My copy of the book is from 2013, but a lot of the principles that I learnt from sort of 25 years ago that go into what we now call usability, UX, UI, user interface. Those principles don't change because technology changes and tools change and environments change. Digital environments may change, but people and psychology either don't change or tend to change much slowly. People's behavior doesn't really change, and so in that way, in that constant, you'll be designing with that in mind and designing with those principles. So I'm going to pull out a few key kind of lessons from this book, and hopefully they will help you with some good starting points for your project. The book's called Don't Make Me Think because it's about how the user or viewer or audience shouldn't need to think when they're using your application or website, and the meaning of that is if there's anything on screen that is making the user make a decision, making them confused, making them question anything on screen, such as where do I click? Does this take me to the information that I want? Is this where I enter my name? Is this where I enter my details? All that stuff is making the interaction less efficient, and so Don't Make Me Think means that everything on screen should be so clear cut that you don't need to think. If I want to continue, I'll click this button. If I want to back out, I'll click that button. This is where I enter my name. This is where I enter my address. This is where I do that. And that should be sort of instantaneous and so straightforward that you don't need to think. So general thought about your project, and in some ways about any design project, but for this hackathon, I think Steve Krug has some great bullet points that you should think of to begin with. So he says usability, useful. Does it do something people need done? Learnable. Can people figure out how to use it? Memorable. Do they have to relearn it each time they use it? Effective. Does it get the job done? Efficient. Does it do it with a reasonable amount of time and effort? Desirable. Do people want it? And then delightful. Is using it enjoyable or even fun? Hi.
I know you're recording, don't put me.
No.
What are you reading?
My name's Gary. I am preparing a video to help students in a hackathon where they're going to attempt this creative challenge.
Bro, speaking of hackathon,
Yeah.
you won't believe what I do.
Yeah?
Cyber security.
Really?
I swear to you, I do cybersecurity.
What's your name?
Put my face. My name is H. Nice to meet you, boys. How are you?
Nice to
man?
meet you too.
So, what you're doing it is for students right now?
This is for the video. They're doing their hackathon online.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
are you a teacher or something? Or what do you do?
I'm a graphic designer.
Oh shit! Well,
Yeah,
I'm a
yeah.
hacker, man. That's how you show.
Oh,
I'm a hacker,
okay,
Man. It's kind
well.
of crazy to say on camera. Don't
Yeah.
say you're a hacker.
Yeah.
You're a hacker, man. I do cybersecurity.
Okay.
Well, what? Anything to say to the video? What should I say?
Well, do you want to introduce what you do? These are high school students.
High school students. All right. Well, good afternoon, high school students. I'm a security researcher. So what I do is I hack on crypto. Let me show you something. I'll show you something. Let me see if I can get something for you now. So, see how AI right now is going crazy, yeah? They say don't use AI, but if you use AI right, you see you can use it for many different things, especially when it comes to hacking. This is just an AI chat. I can't show you too much of the work I trade as well. I mean, listen, I recommend trading as well. Start trading, make some money on trading. You know what I mean, man? But search Immunify. IMMUNEFI, Immunify. Search it up. You guys are gonna see how much money you can make in hacking legally, not illegally.
Okay.
So I do security research anyway. So you like anyways. Nice to meet you. What's your name?
Yeah, my name's Gary. It's nice to meet you.
Hurley. Nice to meet you, man.
Nice,
But
Hurley.
listen, guys, get into cybersecurity, do a bit of hacking, crypto side, and then get into quantum computing as well. I recommend that as well.
Awesome.
Okay,
Thank
bro.
you.
Nice to meet you, my brother.
Nice
man.
to
Have
meet
a
you
good one
too.
as well, yeah?
Thank you.
Take care, my guys. Listen, you guys have a good day at school. Stay blessed. Don't do drugs. Drugs are not good for you. Oh man, have a good one.
Take care.
Take care, man. See you soon,
Bye.
man. Take care, man.
So, yeah, in the real world, you meet real people and things happen. So I wasn't expecting that, but yeah, that's design. That's design for you. You create opportunities, take risks, and things happen unexpectedly. I'm not sure about taking financial advice from strangers. Steve Krug says that a lot of people scan and they don't really read a website or application. He has a term called satisfice, and he thinks that a lot of people kind of muddle through their interactions with digital kind of websites. So expanding on that, when we look at something, we don't read every word from top to bottom. What we do is our eyes scan over the entire page looking for pertinent information, looking for the information that we specifically want. When he says that people satisfy, it means that given the options available, you might not choose the perfect option, or the perfect option for you might not be available. So you'll click on, or you'll choose the next best thing, or the thing that you think will take you to the information that you want, or do the thing that you want to do. So it's kind of like the next best option. And muddling through, people don't have this perfect method or perfect logic for how to interact with your application or website, and rather they will just fall on the things that they remember. Oh, if I click here, it'll take me there. If I click there, it'll take me there. Even though there might logically be a quicker link to get you to that certain page or achieve that certain information. People just create their own paths for simplicity, for memory. And so these three things you should factor in to your design. Something that's useful to think about is that when you're designing, you should design as if you don't have someone's full attention. Like you're in a bus going past a big poster advert, or if you're doing something but you've got something else in your mind, you're trying to do two things at once. And the reason is it helps you think about the information, making it clear, making it easy for the user. Steve has a few bullets that I'll go through. Conventions. Conventions are things that are already in people's minds when you're designing, such as red for stop, green for go, such as big is important, small is less important. Then there's visual hierarchy. So when you look at something, it's visually arranged in terms of importance, such as headline or title, big at the top. You may have important information in bullets, in bold, in a bright color. You might have not so important terms and conditions in small at the bottom. A hierarchy is you helping the viewer to see what's important, see what you think they need to know, helping them find what they want to know. As an addition to that, there's breaking the page or the screen up into clearly defined areas. So you might have, for instance, navigation at the top. You might have a logo in the top left. You might have information for footer at the bottom, and you might look into designing with grids, and this is something you might want to Google. And there's grids for print and grids for digital, so I suggest looking that up. Buttons. Make buttons look like they're clickable, to state the obvious. Make links look like they're clickable. Make sure that they communicate to the user or the viewer where this link will take them, what this button will do, and that will help avoid confusion, and it'll create confidence in the user in what they're doing. A really important button is the back or exit. When a user is unsure, they want to know that they can go back to whatever page they were before without any consequences, without them accidentally submitting information that isn't right. It's always important to eliminate distractions. Don't add anything on the page that really doesn't need to be there. Make sure that everything there is essential to the viewer or the audience in doing what they want to do, communicating what you want to communicate, the information that they want and that they're after. So yeah, eliminate all distractions. And this kind of leads on to a wider design skill, and that's editing. And there's a phrase called kill your darlings, and it means that as the creator, you may love this specific bit of your project or this specific part of your design. You might think it's amazing and you love it, but you need to sometimes take a step back and think about the user. You may love it, you might think it's amazing, but is it helpful for the user? Is it useful for the user? Does it provide the audience or user with anything important that they might need? And this is a hard skill, but if any of those things are a no, then you probably should take it out. Yeah, even if it makes you unhappy, editing is a really fundamental skill that you've got to develop. One more important lesson that goes with and against everything I've said is to break the rules. So the important thing about creativity is that you're going to push boundaries, you're going to challenge, and you're going to make things that help people think what they haven't thought about before, or think about things in a different way, or see things in a different way, or see things that they didn't know existed from a perspective they weren't aware of. And so as you're creating, sometimes maybe think about that. If it's right, you're taking the viewer or the audience or the user on a journey, the journey that you've created, the interaction that you've created, and sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes it can be challenging. Sometimes it shouldn't be a smooth interaction. So I guess that's when you're creating, it's important to be brave. Sometimes you need to break the rules. And I wish you all the best on your creative journey, on your hackathon. You'll do brilliantly. Be brave, create, and yeah, good luck.